this year. Aaron Weiss with the center tells KTAR it's true throughout the Southwest and in Arizona.
Between low winter snowpack levels, ongoing drought, record-breaking spring temperatures, we have above normal potential for significant wildfire risk.
But he also says staffing cuts by the Trump administration at the Forest Service and other agencies means there's less support for communities trying to prevent these fires, including more than 700 cut positions in Arizona. He's urging Congress to boost funding levels so those agencies can restore staffing levels. Ballin Overstoles, KTAR News.
Speaking of fire mitigation, that's a project that's happening in Prescott with the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. Starting Monday, more than 1,000 acres in the Prescott Basin is going to be subject to a fuels reduction project. They'll convert brush into mulch and other things that don't burn as easily. The project's expected to last through the end of the year, barring any weather or fire delays.
A KTAR News exclusive.
We all know that budgeting is hard. Budgeting on a fixed income is really hard, and it could soon be a whole lot more difficult. Social Security reserves are starting to run dry, and Colton Krolak has more.
Yeah, that's right, LaDonna. For the last 16 years, the Social Security Administration has had to use its trust fund reserves to pay benefits as more money's been going out than coming in. Those reserves are expected to run out by 2032, which would trigger a nearly 25% cut to benefits across the board. Congressman David Schweikert tells Arizona's Morning News that's why it's imperative to get this fixed now.
Just to cover the shortfall in the Social Security Trust Fund, and at the same time, the Medicare Trust Fund is empty. We calculate in the first year is $638 billion, equal to 60% of what we spend on defense today.
The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates nearly 1.4 million Arizonans would lose more than $500 a month on average. Live in the News Center, Colton Krolak, KTAR News.
It passes 7-0. Thank you.
A cell phone tower set to go up in Peoria's Vistancia neighborhood had been blocked by the zoning commission, but last night, the city council voted to overturn that decision.
More than a dozen residents making cases for and against the projected 70-foot-high tower, some citing safety and property value concerns, others pressing the council for reliable cell phone service as calls, including those to 911, had been faulty in the area. In the end, the council approving the tower's construction, with Peoria Mayor Jason Beck saying after the vote was cast,
it is very clear that there is a public safety need and a requirement that we need to actually fulfill with this.
An exact timeline for when the tower would be finished was not given at the meeting. Brandon King, KTAR News.
It is 8:05, and the Department of Health and Human Services has proposed closing the Indian Health Service Tucson office to help align the agency. Arizona Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva says this poses a risk to patient safety because the next closest office is 2 hours away in Phoenix.
This consolidation creates a systemic barrier to care, directly violating the statute of intent of the Indian Health Care Improvement Act.
She says it's also a violation of the act, which mandates HHS and IHS have to improve the delivery of those services. There's a new exam to test for colon cancer, so you can skip the prep.
Dr. Leo Odell, Associate Medical Director for Optum Primary Care, says they want to get the word out about this new test because the American Cancer Society recently lowered the age for recommended testing from 50 to 45.
The guidelines have been in response to the fact that we're seeing colon cancer at earlier ages and we need to get better at detecting it. 100,000 people will get colon cancer diagnosed this year and about 50,000 will be diagnosed with rectal cancer.
However, Odell does recommend a colonoscopy if you have a family history of colon cancer. Heidi Hommel, KTAR News.
Now let's check those roads again with John Roller in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, let's start in the North Valley this time. Eastbound 101 Pima Freeway. Looks like we have a hang-up right there near the transition ramp to the southbound 51, and that's backing you up all the way back to Cave Creek. Once you get to the southbound 51, not looking too bad until you get closer into the mini stack. Light slowing from Indian School Road down to the mini stack. However, I'm now starting to see a backup near McDowell. I'll take a closer look at that. That's never never a good sign. Westbound I-10 had an earlier crash inside the tunnel. That is outside the tunnel now and off to the right and a little further west. Westbound I-10 right near 75th Avenue. That crash is off to the right. Surface streets, we've got a crash in Chandler Boulevard just east of Kyrene, and 7th Street and Thomas. Look for a crash there as well. Traffic is brought to you by Western Governors University. If you're ready for a new career, your next chapter starts right now. Visit wgu.edu and enroll today. John Roller, KTAR News.
It's going to be 107 today, 108 tomorrow, 106 Friday, and 105 on Saturday. Triple-digit heat, zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with a 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. Private sector hiring exceeded analysts' expectations last month, according to a company that handles payroll for hundreds of thousands of companies.
The ADP National Employment Report counted a record 122,000 new positions created in May, with employers of all sizes hiring. ADP says small companies, those with fewer than 20 employees, accounted for 49,000 of the new jobs, easily outpacing companies with over 500 workers.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. The vote count is underway in California after the Tuesday primary.
The vote count is underway right now here in Los Angeles County overnight. Sheriff's deputies had the task of securely moving ballots from polling stations to the vote counting center. They did that in patrol cars and actually in helicopters as well. From the more outlying areas of the county, they fly ballots to be counted in the rescue helicopters to get them moved. The vote counting is underway. In closer races, it can take a while. It's not always immediate. Counties have 13 days now to count all of the votes.
And some of those races are so close that it's going to take those 13 days. That's ABC's Alex Stone. From the KTAR Business Center, as we take a look at the markets right now, oil has ticked up just a smidge, and that means we're down on the markets, at least right now. We're down 152 on the NASDAQ, 31 on the S&P, and 395 on the Dow. That's right around 0.75%. For more money news, visit the Business Center at KTAR.com.
KTAR News. Water Watch.
Phoenix, the city, is modeling the behavior it would like to see from those who live there whenever it comes to water conservation.
Every drop matters. We are a desert community, and water is necessary for sustainability.
Phoenix Vice Mayor Keisha Hodge-Washington says the city's aviation department has saved 27 million gallons annually by replacing grass with native vegetation and updating airport cooling towers.
They are more efficient, they are smaller, they use less water, and we are able to recycle the water through the coolers more efficiently with less chemicals so that we can reuse the water even longer.
The Public Works Department also retrofitted cooling towers on city property, installed low-flow fixtures downtown, and replaced its grass, saving a whopping 36 million gallons a year. More recently, Phoenix installed smart leak technology in its Sunny Slope public housing.
Our on-site maintenance will then be able to identify whether or not there is a leak at that facility.
Hodge-Washington says the city is leading by example with its water savings. She adds the easiest water conservation practices for residents to adopt would be replacing grass and leak detection in toilets. The water department can also conduct a free water efficiency assessment at your home. Heidi Hommel, KTAR News.
You can read more water news on KTAR.com, and it's brought to you by AMWA. Now it's the KTAR Timeline with Patricia Valencia, brought to you by Beatitudes Campus.
It's June 3rd, and back on this day in 1976, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody goes gold, selling over 1 million copies. Written by Freddie Mercury, this song was different. It had no specific chorus, but instead different sections. A ballad, an opera section, and a hard rock part. one of the factors that made it so unique. The single stayed at the top of the charts for weeks. It was number 1 for 9 weeks in the UK. Reactions were mixed. Some reviews say Bohemian Rhapsody is one of the greatest songs of all time, and it's often regarded as the band's signature song. In 1992, the song enjoyed some renewed popularity in the U.S. after being featured in the famous car scene in the movie Wayne's World.
Excellent.
The New York Times reported the song's most distinct feature is the fatalistic lyrics. Mercury refused to explain its meaning other than to say it was about relationships, and the band is still protective of the song's secret. And it went gold back on this day in 1976.
All right, I've heard that song about a bajillion times, and I don't care. I still love it. But I love Queen. Now let's check your drive. John Roller is live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Well, you're not exactly doing the fandango, but the roadway's looking a little bit better right now. We had a little run-on crashes a few minutes ago, but happy to report that they are in the clearing stages. Northbound 101 Price Freeway right near Broadway. That crash is out of the way. And just a little north, had a crash right near McKellips on the northbound 101 Pima Freeway. That, too, is out of the way. And that backup looking much better. You still have some slowing right at the transition ramp up to Indian School Road. Same thing with that crash on the eastbound 101 Pima Freeway. That crash happened right near the transition ramp to the southbound 51. That is out of there as well. Only light slowing from Cave Creek over to the 51. And we've added a new crash in Glendale just now, 73rd Avenue and Bell Road. Traffic is brought to you by Sweet James. When an injury from a car, truck, or motorcycle accident changes your life, call the attorneys at Sweet James at 800-9-million. That's 800-900-0000 at sweetjames.com. John Roller, KTAR News.
Sunny with a high of 107 today. Tomorrow, 108, then 106 on Friday and 105 on Saturday. Triple-digit heat, zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with a 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. This KTAR News expansion is brought to you by Sweet James. If you've been injured in an accident, call Sweet James. The Mike Broomhead Show is next. I'm LaDonna Harvey on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The Mike Broomhead Show begins now.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for being here. Lots to catch up on. We are obviously going to be watching the Middle East, talk about that at one point this morning, but I want to start in a different place than we normally do. I want to start with the economy. According to ADP, private sector jobs added 122,000 jobs in May, beating expectations. Available jobs in the country jumped to 7.6 million jobs, the highest in nearly 2 years. So the mixed emotions, and I'm certainly not going to diminish or deny that people have doubts about the economy, or I should say, if not doubts, concerns. There's a new report out saying CEOs are concerned about the next 6 months. They're beginning to be more pessimistic. Right now, the stock markets are showing that as well. There seems to be a correction of a day on the stock markets day. The Dow is down a few hundred points. Actually, about 0.8% at 427, about a half a percentage point on the S&P, and a little over almost 0.6 of a point on the NASDAQ. A correction this morning. We'll see how it all ends up. Oil prices continue to climb. Brent crude oil up near 97.5, and these are the futures. And WTI, or West Texas Intermediate, trading at just over $95. So it's up from yesterday a little bit, going in the wrong direction there. But are there positive signs in the economy? Are things better than they seem to people? It's a ridiculous question because perception is reality. If you're concerned about the economy and the questions that people ask about, are you better off than you were a year ago? And do you think next year is going to be better than this year? Getting an affirmative in both of those questions is the goal. You want to be doing better now. I feel like I am doing better this year than I did last year. And I also believe that next year is going to even be better than this year. Those two affirmative answers are a great look at things. I don't know that we would get an affirmative answer in either of those. We talk about our personal feelings, where we are, and is there more of a feeling of, I think I'm doing okay, but I'm concerned about my neighbors, I'm concerned about other people? I don't know the answer to that, but it's a good place to start when we're discussing the economy. Arizona in a precarious place as well. As we were moving toward the end of the previous administration, the beginning of this administration, the predictions that there was going to be a recession because of inflation was up and down in people's minds. I don't know that we're going to see it. Arizona was positioned to be in a better place if there was a downturn, that we would be one of the last states into it and one of the first states out because of the diversification of our economy and some of the other things that we've done. So that all remains to be seen. There is a local story about 4 Arizona employers announce mass layoffs. I don't think that this is intentionally done to be misleading. I'm not accusing anybody of being misleading. But when you look at one of them specifically, because I knew it was going to be in here, is GCU. Largest layoff notice tied to university contractor change, 489 jobs axed. That is not an accurate headline. What is happening is Grand Canyon University is switching its dining providers from Sodexo to Aramark, 2 big companies. They just thought that the Aramark offer was better. So what is actually happening with those 489 employees? Technically, they are being laid off. A file warn notice listed 489 affected workers at GCU. But when you look at the bottom, it's a short little blurb about this. Bob Romantic from GCU's Executive Director of Communications, by the way, the coolest name in PR. His name is Bob Romantic. Bob's a good dude, too.
How romantic.
I know. What a great name, right? Could you imagine what Valentine's Day is like for him?
I would love my last name to be Romantic.
Isn't that cool?
Patricia Romantic.
Yeah. So
Sounds
get this.
Mysterious.
So, here's the deal. If I were ever to get married, again, it scared me to even say it.
He's gagging.
Yeah, the camera's around me. I'm starting to tear up a little bit.
Don't cry. It's okay.
I guarantee you that whoever would marry me, I know for a fact loves me.
Why? Because
they got to take Broomhead.
That is absolutely true.
Bob Romantic, somebody would marry him just to have that name.
I don't think I would change my name back.
Never, right? You wouldn't.
Because I got married, changed it, and then I went back to my maiden name, and now
Right.
I'm like, if I ever get married again, I'm good, just staying this way.
Yeah, but if you got married if you married Bob Romantic,
Yeah, that would actually be pretty.
and you would
pretty
never,
cool.
even if you got divorced, you'd never change it,
That's
would you?
the only stipulation where I'd actually change my
Right.
name. Okay, carry on.
Anyway, here's the quote or the statement from GCU. Aramark intends to hire the current Sodexo employees working on campus. So they're not losing their jobs. They're not even pausing their jobs. They're just going to start getting a paycheck from a different company. So the headline that says that the largest layoff notice, that's technically true. 489 jobs in a layoff, that is technically the largest notice. But you got to get to the last part of this to realize nobody's actually losing their job. They're just changing companies. So it's not a big deal. It is just one of those things I keep a close eye on. Talking to KTAR's news, Danny Seiden, one of my favorite people on the planet, Danny Seiden from the CEO of Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I think he's been listening to the show, Patricia, because they are telling KTAR News that they believe that computers should be added to one of the 5 C's.
Maybe.
And we said we should be, let's go further. We'll have the 7 C's, chips.
That's right.
But
Semiconductor
maybe
chips.
that's all kind of in the same world.
Kind of in the same category a little bit.
But copper, cotton, cattle, citrus, and climate are the 5 C's for Arizona. I think, obviously, with the huge export business that we have here with computer components.
I think it was something like $900 billion, something
No,
like
it's
that.
billions of dollars. It's in the billions of dollars.
Big, yeah. It was a big number.
And now with TSMC and Intel based here, the chips industry is also going to be huge. So I like this,
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think to update the 5 C's to the 6 or the 7 would be good.
What a time to live in Arizona.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's great stuff. I think it's terrific stuff. Jobs openings, we talked about that. Where do you think, what part of town, you're you're going to have, I'm going to give you 3 guesses because I think within the first 3, you'll get it.
Okay.
Which, I say zip code, but you can tell me the name of the town. I don't expect you to know the number. But what zip code is the fastest growing in Arizona and in the top 20 nationally? Towns.
I got to say Cave Creek.
Okay, that's one. You're wrong. Not Cave Creek.
Or Queen Creek.
Not Queen Creek. But so
What are
you're
the
going
creeks?
you're going far East Valley.
Yes.
Go far west.
What about Surprise?
Buckeye.
Wow.
Close. The town of Buckeye, housing inventory
I don't
growth.
think I've ever been out there.
In Buckeye, the housing inventory growth from 2014 to 2023 grew by 8,400 new homes. That's a 136% increase.
Wow.
In 10 years. Population growth, 24,983 or 186%.
Some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, it is growing like crazy. Total population from 2019 to 2024 is over 50%. The median home price, a median household income is just under $100,000 per year. The average home value is just under $400,000 per year, and the total cost of living is around $52,000. So it's
like a pretty good neighborhood.
It's a very affordable place to live.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I love these.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I do too, because it's a more accurate picture of things. Perception, we talked yesterday, perception is still reality. If you feel that, you're kind of in a holding pattern, like we're doing okay, I'm not going to take too big of a risk. I'm not going to go out and buy high ticket items. I'm not going to go, or big ticket items. I'm not going to go out and take out loans, or I'm not going to go out and finance things because I'm not sure, but we're doing okay right now. I think that would sum up how many people feel right now.
Yes, I think that's right on the head right there.
And for me, and the reason why I drag you into these conversations, because I feel almost like I'm irrelevant in the conversation because of where I am different. 15 years ago, I was where you are,
Just in the stats where you're at
Well,
right now.
at the time I was married and
Right.
my wife has 2 girls and they have kids. So I had a responsibility for a lot of people. And that was such a great time in my life, but that's different, because now it's different. And the one good thing about being older is I don't worry about taking risks so much anymore, because much like when I was young, when I was stupid at 18 instead of stupid at 58, was that I took risks because I knew the only person that was going to pay for the mistake was me.
Was you.
I don't want to drag somebody else into a mistake.
For
if
a
I
risk
made a
you're
mistake,
taking, yeah.
If I take a risk and do something ridiculous, it hurts. When I was married, it hurt my wife. It certainly would hurt the girls and the grandkids. And so now at this place, I take myself out of that equation. If I decide, you know what, I'm
going to try that out.
Yeah, I've got no
What
problem.
I got to lose.
Yeah, what have I got to lose? I might as well. If I want to go out and buy a big ticket item, which I'm not going to do, but if I want to do that and take the risk that I'm going to fall on my face in the future, I would have never taken the risk a few years ago, which didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I would have never bought another home and kept one as a rental and hope that they both appreciate. I would have never done that.
That's a big move, yeah.
Had I not been in this position.
Especially if other people are involved.
Yeah. So you're the equation. You are the one that's in the equation. I'm not. Your situation, you've got a family. So you guys have to manage your risk taking because you got kids you're responsible for.
Right.
I don't have to worry about that. If I fall on my face and end up on the street, it's just me and my backpack. I don't have to, I'm not dragging people with me.
Which also, bringing all that up, it comes at you fast, man. When did I have 2 kids?
I know.
And now I'm responsible for other people's lives.
Yeah, so
what's happening?
So it's so funny if you watch, and I recommend you do because it's a fun follow. If you follow Patricia on social media, she drags you to concerts and everything else, and it's like it's the most schizophrenic Instagram page I've ever seen, because you'll go from a hip hop concert to her child standing on the kitchen table.
Hey, that's how we live around
right.
here.
It's terrific. I think it's great.
It's a perfect balance.
All right. The Amazing Arizonans podcast that we have been doing for almost 3 years now, brought to you by Resolution Copper. Darcy Olson is our latest episode. It is a fantastic story, and I hope you'll check it out at the KTAR News app, the KTAR YouTube channel, anywhere you download podcasts. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about the Middle East. We'll get to it here in just 1 second. All right, K2 Vision RLE, let me give you a recommendation. I took way too long to look into this. I've been hearing about RLE for a long time and K2 Vision and how great they are. Doctors King and Kopstein. Dr. Kopstein did the procedure for me. And finally, I'd gotten to a point where even with readers on, I was struggling with reading things. The font on my phone was huge. So I just decided to get the consultation and see if I was a candidate. It sold me in the consultation. They really answered all of my questions, took all the time I needed to get answers. The exam was thorough. I knew I was a candidate. They explained it to me, and I said yes. Best medical decision I have made in 20 years. I am able to see. I'm looking, if you're watching now, I have no glasses on. I threw all of my readers away, can read off a page, read off a screen. It is such a great thing that I did, and you should look into it to find out if you're a candidate. Go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
KTAR News pays tribute to Valley teachers.
We're going to give you $2,500 right now in front of your class.
Nominate an outstanding teacher for a $2,500 check. Text the word teacher to 620-620 and pay tribute to a teacher. Message and data rates may apply.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
That closet you keep forcing shut, the garage you can't park in, the entryway where everything gets dumped, somebody should fix that. We'd love to be that somebody. At Space Solutions, we design, build, and install custom closets, mudrooms, and garage build-outs. Family-owned, budget-friendly, serving Phoenix, Scottsdale, and the entire valley, even Flagstaff and Munns Park. Whatever the space, we've got the solution. Call us now at 602-536-4199 or visit spacesolutionsaz.com.
It's summertime, and the heat is on, with backyard parties, grilling galore. Sunburn City. Ouch. Keep your cool with Coit. We'll take the heat off with deep cleaning for your outdoor concrete, natural stone, patio furniture, and more. So bring it on, summer, and bring in the pros at Coit for a like-new clean with guaranteed results. Get 30% off any outdoor cleaning service. Call 800-4COIT or visit Coit.com today.
It's Gatos. I'm here with Jamie, the owner of Southwest Blinds.
Hi, Gatos.
Nobody, especially my wife, wants me installing blinds.
Well, great news, Gatos, because at Southwest Blinds, we don't just sell window coverings. We help design them, we measure them, and we install them professionally, which means no more guesswork, no more messes, and Gatos, no injuries.
I'm not allowed to use a ladder or power tools in the house.
And here's the big difference. We don't subcontract. We handle everything.
Love that. Hire my friends at southwestblinds.com today.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KTAR News now.
Good morning. Coming up on 8:33, I'm Patricia Valencia.
A KTAR News exclusive.
For the last 16 years, the Social Security Administration has had to use its trust fund reserves to pay benefits as more money's been going out than coming in. Those reserves are expected to run out by 2032, which could trigger a nearly 25% cut to benefits across the board. Congressman David Schweikert exclusively tells Arizona's Morning News that's why it's imperative to get it fixed now.
Just to cover the shortfall in the Social Security Trust Fund, and at the same time, the Medicare Trust Fund is empty. We calculate in the first year is $638 billion, equal to 60% of what we spend on defense today.
The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates nearly 1.4 million Arizonans would lose more than $500 a month on average.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
The National Weather Service is expecting more record heat later this month, and meteorologist Sean Benedict says the heat could contribute to a stronger monsoon season.
We did not have good snowpack at all, so actually with less snowpack, things may actually heat up more quickly as we head through June and develop the monsoon high circulation a little bit earlier and then pull moisture in here earlier.
This spring, Phoenix set a new heat record with an average temperature of 80.2 degrees at 6.4 degrees above normal.
Created these conditions for what could be a very dangerous fire season this year.
New reports indicate high wildfire risk this year. Aaron Weiss with Conservation Group, the Center for Western Priorities, says this is due to the Trump administration's federal employee purge in land management agencies. He's calling on the admin and Congress to restore funding and staff levels. Arizona has lost nearly 700 federal positions in those agencies since last year. And the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management is starting a wildfire mitigation project in Prescott this next week.
1,150 acres are the focus of a fuels reduction project south of Prescott. The aim is to turn brush vegetation, which could easily spark in a wildfire, into mulch and other less flammable substances. The work will primarily affect Oak Knoll Village along with the Sherman Pines and Prescott Rivera neighborhoods, with heavy machinery used initially before hand crews step in for the rockier and steeper areas. In a statement, Forest and Fire Management Chief Darrell Willis calls the communities in the area among the most vulnerable in Arizona, adding the efforts will complement those done in the nearby Prescott National Forest. Brandon King, KTAR News.
Now let's check on the roads and traffic. Say hello to John Roller. He's live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Well, hello and good morning, Patricia. I'm taking a look at some slowing on the northbound 101 Pima Freeway in the East Valley, just north of McDowell. Looks like we have a hang-up there, and that means you've got slowing as you come westbound off the 202 and transition to the northbound 101. We've got a crash on Bell Road, just east of Cave Creek Road. That's the second crash there of the morning, right at 26th Street. Thunderbird near 19th Avenue. Watch for a crash with injuries there. And a crash in Glendale on Bell Road once again, this time on the west side near 73rd Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by DiscountACUnits.com. Don't overpay for AC. DiscountACUnits.com saves you thousands on top brands with pro installation. DiscountACUnits.com. Savings is in the name. John Roller, KTAR News.
It's already 86 degrees in Fountain Hills. Expect that climb to high to climb to 107 for today. Triple-digit heat but zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with the 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. I'm Patricia Valencia on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
All right, it's Gato's biggest hour of the week. Join us at 5 o'clock for the face-off. America's war with Iran, will it last forever? We'll discuss with our panel. They've got all different perspectives. Join us for the face-off at 5 o'clock, and you can watch it on the KTAR YouTube channel.
The President of the United States has said that the Iranians have agreed to not have nukes and no U.S. ground troops will be needed in there, which is good news if that holds to be true. I want you to hear the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, talking about a few different things. And this one is the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I thought this was a fascinating comment.
Well, it's been challenging to deal with them diplomatically because, for example, an offer will be made and then it takes 5 or 6 days to get a response because you have to get it through the whole system. They have to find the supreme leader wherever he hides. They got to get him to sign off, and that's their system. Their system has always been multi-layered in this way. It's obviously become more complex because of the damage they suffered during the war. But look, suffice it to say, Iran has to pay a price. They're not going to change their position out of the kindness of their heart. There has to be a pressure point on them that causes them to realize they cannot continue to close the straits, or they face crushing economic consequences, but also, global diplomatic isolation, which they have proven in the past to be susceptible to. But you're right, they have a high pain threshold, but they don't have an unlimited pain threshold. Nobody does.
All of the things that we've been talking about, he's saying right there, there's got to be diplomatic. The diplomatic relations are difficult. They do have a high pain threshold, but the rest of the world has got to talk about the price they're going to pay. And it's not just the short-term price they're going to pay for what's happening right now, where they've got their leadership hiding underground and their country is in disarray. Excuse me, it has to be that long-term. And it has to be that the world tells them that any chance you have of the world helping you rebuild your country by doing business with you, by creating jobs through trade, is not going to happen. If you are going to try to hold the world hostage in the Strait of Hormuz, if you're going to hold our economies hostage, if you're going to damage our economy, we will not forget it. And we will hold you accountable. And as the world starts to do that, and we're hearing more and more nations begin to speak up, the Kuwaitis now have spoken up about the attacks because this is the issue with the Iranians. What they did is now they're lobbing drones and missiles into Kuwait. Why? What's the purpose? And it's the terroristic attitude that now they've bombed the airport, the international airport. They're doing damage to the commerce in Kuwait because they can't fight. And this is a desperate move because they know that they can't fight head on with the U.S. So what they are trying to do is cause disruption in the rest of the world, where the rest of the world says to the U.S., you have to stop this. This was a part of their plan from the beginning. This all goes back to the nuclear capabilities that they were trying to achieve. They were stockpiling, and I've said this probably 20 times that I think maybe we should get an expert on to talk about this. The drone warfare and what they have employed and what they were trying to build is changing warfare worldwide. We have great ballistic missile capabilities. We have great defense capabilities to intercept weapons, missiles, or drones. But it's very expensive in what we are using. When you're spending millions of dollars on a Patriot missile to take down a drone that is valued between $30,000 and $50,000, even though it was $100,000, that is not economically feasible for a nation, even a nation as wealthy as ours. But what it also does is smaller nations that are not wealthy but have ill intent, and Iran would be one of those, was stockpiling these short-range missiles, but these drones as well, which are very inexpensive to build. And their plan was to build so many drones that they could overwhelm anything, that any attack against them would be futile because it would be so costly to try to stop them from having a nuclear weapon, that stockpile of drones would be a defense that you wouldn't want to mess with. And that's exactly what they're trying to do now. They are trying to say in the region, we are going to continue to hit our neighbor states. We are going to continue to hit nations around us. And we're going to try to interrupt and disrupt their commerce so that the world will turn against the U.S. and say, we've got to stop this. It's too costly. Let's just move on. And the hope is that the American people's will on this will also waver. That's been a plan. That's how they do business. Their proxies right now are hurting because Hezbollah, Hamas has been so decimated, but the ability for them to replenish because they get so much from the Iranians. So this has got to be something that the world gets behind. Whether they get involved in any kind of a combat operation, that's not what America is asking, I don't believe. But what the Americans want, what we should be wanting from the world, is a worldwide demand that the Iranians open the strait, do not try to hinder any kind of commerce that's going through the area. Now, will they do it? I think eventually they have no choice. But how much damage will be done to any relationship that they possibly are going to have in the future? That is a huge concern. I think it's a valid concern. Remind you that coming up just after the top of the hour, we are going to speak with Tony Napolitano. He is a senior attorney at the Goldwater Institute. If you're a taxpayer in Phoenix, this is going to be an interesting story about a lawsuit they filed. We're going to do that just after the top of the hour, and we've got Gatos coming up with the Big Q poll question here in just a moment. Then speaking of Gatos, it's Wednesday. That means the face-off happens this afternoon at 5 o'clock on Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Former Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richard, former State Senator Michelle Ugenti-Rita, and Barry Markson discuss the latest on the Iran war, the power struggle between Maricopa County Recorder and the Board of Supervisors, and much more. You can watch the face-off starting at 5 on the KTAR YouTube channel or on the app. Coming up in a moment, it is going to be Gatos and the Big Q poll question of the day. Right now, it's Life Changer Loan. The idea of going at this by yourself in this world, you need someone to help you. And I love Life Changer Loan because Shane is very thorough. The team of people he has, they do such a fantastic job of making sure, looking at if you qualify for this, walking you through the process, and it is going to change your life. The average client at Life Changer Loan is paying their mortgage off in 5 years without changing anything about their spending habits. I know that sounds too good to be true, but it isn't. It actually is working for so many people. Do yourself a favor and look into this. Those high mortgage rates you're paying, the interest that you're paying on your mortgage, pay this off much sooner. Liberate yourself and your family. It also gives you access to your equity. What is that worth? You have all this equity in your home, but can you get to it? Not without a loan from a bank. With Life Changer Loan, you have access to your own equity. It's yours. You should be able to get to it. This isn't magic. It's just math. Go to lifechangerloan.com. Do it now. Lifechangerloan.com.
KTAR has your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Arizona Diamondbacks host the Washington Nationals Saturday, June 6th on Corbin Carroll Mystery Bobblehead Night.
Going back, looking up, adios, baseball!
Text Bobble to 620-620 or visit the KTAR contest page to enter. Text Bobble to 620-620. Message and data rates may apply.
Beatitudes campus in North Central Phoenix always has something fun going on. I'm Jamie West. You can connect, relax, and get creative all at once at the Paint and Sip event, Tuesday, June 9th at 2 p.m. A fun, laid-back gathering where you'll have a step-by-step guide to create your own canvas, sip your favorite beverage, and soak up the bright and bold vibes of Beatitudes. Text RSVP to 620-620 or visit beatitudescampus.org. Live brightly, age boldly at Beatitudes Campus.
Message and data rates may apply. GLP, start for free at Red Mountain Weight Loss. For a limited time, they've waived the startup fee on all programs. Just mention Gatos. Get GLP-1 medications for as low as $149 per month. With Red Mountain, you'll get lower prices than the big telehealth companies with no hidden fees, a specialized diet plan, and expert care from real doctors. So why pay more for less? Get the care you deserve at a price you can afford. Book your video appointment today. They'll ship medication directly to your door. Get started for free at redmountainweightloss.com.
The right guidance can make all the difference when it comes to your legacy. At Morris Hall, we're proudly building a team your family can trust. Please join us in welcoming our newest attorney.
Hi, I'm Nathan Askins. Most areas of the law are reactive, responding to problems after they arise. Excellent estate planning is different. It's proactive. It gives families a chance to plan ahead and help reduce challenges before they occur. I've also seen in my own family the impact when those plans aren't in place. Stress, confusion, and unnecessary hardship during already difficult times. That's why I'm passionate about helping clients create a plan that reflects their life and protects what matters most.
Whether you're just getting started or reviewing an existing plan, we invite you to meet with Nathan Askins or one of our attorneys in Arizona. Visit morrishall.com to schedule your complimentary consultation. That's morrishall.com.
Can't raise your arms, climb stairs, or kneel down? That means you can't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. Let's celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Not bracing for the next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on, back to living their lives. So many of you have been through QC Kinetics game-changing regenerative treatments, done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down. The pain backs off. Hearing about these life-changing treatments on KTAR News helped you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. Let's get rid of that pain, starting now. The consultation's totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now, with clinics in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Living in the desert, SRP customers have some great questions, like, can I lower my electric bill? The answer is absolutely. A great place to start is making sure you're on a price plan that works best for you. We also have programs to help you use less energy and save money. Plus, as a not-for-profit, SRP already keeps rates as low as possible. SRP, delivering water, power, and answers since 1903. Find ways to save at srp.net.
Don't get beat by the heat. Get the $79 AC tune-up special from the best in the biz. Day and night, air conditioning, heating, and plumbing. Paul Calvise here. We do it every year. We save money now with the AC tune-up special. Only $79 to save money later on summer energy bills. We avoid costly repairs, extend the lifespan of our AC units. Day and night is our AC's best defense. Go to dayandnightair.com. Schedule that $79 AC tune-up at dayandnightair.com. Conditions apply. Limited time offer.
Speed and power. Get your Corbin Carroll 30-30 Mystery Bobble on Saturday, June 6th, courtesy of Chase. Visit dbacks.com for tickets.
KTAR News Flash.
At 8:48, I'm Patricia Valencia. This is what you need to know right now. 2 people were shot at Desert Sky Mall last night. One was seriously injured, according to Phoenix police. Both victims were taken to a nearby hospital, and multiple people were detained, though none were reported to be the shooter. The investigation remains ongoing. In private sector, hiring exceeded analyst expectations last month. The ADP National Employment Record counted a record 122,000 new positions created in May, with employers of all sizes hiring. ADP says the small companies, those with fewer than 20 employees, accounted for 49,000 of the new jobs. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. Another check-in on traffic. Here's John Roller live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, thank you very much, PV. Just a few minutes ago, DPS troopers clearing a crash involving a downed motorcycle. This was on the northbound side of the I-17, right at the Camelback underpass. It has been cleared off the main line, but you still will have some stop-and-go slowing as you come northbound off the stack there at the I-17. Surface streets, they're busy right now. We've got a crash at Indian School Road and the I-17, not on the main line. Look for another crash, Thunderbird near 19th Avenue. Bell Road, 73rd Avenue, a crash in Glendale, and another crash on Bell Road on the east side. This is just east of Cave Creek Road. John Roller, KTAR News, the Mike Broomhead Show, back in 60 seconds.
Every month, Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos and your Valley Toyota dealers, we pay tribute to a teacher. Teachers unlock the doors to possibility. They transform lives with patience and a passion that knows no boundaries. So join us by texting the word teacher to 620-620. Nominate a deserving teacher for a $2,500 bonus. Imagine a world where every exceptional teacher is recognized for their remarkable impact. A world where their tireless efforts are acknowledged and valued. They are our unsung heroes. They are our teachers. Help us pay tribute to a teacher. It's all brought to you by our great friends, Your Valley Toyota dealers. Text the word teacher to 620-620 and nominate a deserving teacher. And we're going to head to their classroom and personally give them a $2,500 bonus. Pay tribute to a teacher is brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Message and data rates may apply. The Gatos Big Q poll question, brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers.
Hey, good morning, Gatos.
Oh, tomorrow's the big day. It's your big birthday tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Tomorrow's the big day.
It is. Hey,
so what are we doing?
Hang on, before we get to that, because I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to be in rare form on my birthday, but I want to talk about something very good first, because we did this last year, and I forgot to do this with you. You guys and Outspoken Against Hunger, and what you're doing with Axon again this year, stellar. This is an awesome program. I just want to say congratulations to you guys.
Hey, thank you. And you know what? We got the president of Axon to give $75,000 to give us a start for Outspoken Against Hunger. We're partnering with St. Mary's Food Bank the month of June, and we're going to feed Arizona families. And so for the first $75,000 that come in from all of you listening, Axon's going to double that. First 75, they're going to double it. So it is awesome, man. And by the way, I will be using you, my friend. I will be calling in, and you and I will be talking about St. Mary's and Outspoken Against Hunger, because I know that you are as passionate about it as I am.
I love those guys. I call them the OG, the original food bank, and they do such a great job. 5 meals for $1 is what their purchasing power is. They're so efficient with volunteer hours. They squeeze every minute out of every hour you donate and every penny out of every dollar. I just love what they do, and I love the way they do it.
Yep, just text food to 620-620. You can give your donation right now. Yes, tomorrow we'll get to your birthday. It's going to be awesome. I've got a celebration for you on the air.
Oh, perfect.
Now let's do the big Q.
Let's do it.
We got Trump and Netanyahu. Big fight. Screaming match over the phone. Netanyahu bombs Lebanon and screws up the whole peace process between the U.S. and Israel. So my question to everybody is this. You know, we've built an octagon on the front lawn of the White House. Should we put Trump and Netanyahu in it? Yes or no?
That could be sad.
No, it'd be terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trump's in tip-top shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear his... Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't put it past Trump to win that match because he's dirty. He'll bite you, he'll scratch you, and he'll hit you below the belt.
If you did you hear his comments about the ring that they're building, the octagon they're building?
No.
I think he was trolling people when he said it, but he said that he may leave it up. It's kind of like he compared it to the Eiffel Tower.
It would not surprise me. And you know what? Maybe that's a way we could be more efficient in Washington. If we disagree on a bill, let the two people go into the middle of the ring and see who comes out.
Now you're on to something. I would pay for that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I would love to see Schumer get his butt kicked or Trump get his butt kicked. I mean, this would be amazing. I would love this stuff.
All right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Gatos. The BQ poll question brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers. Coming up, we are going to speak to the senior attorney at the Goldwater Institute. Stick around.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, it's Bruce and Gatos, and we're outspoken against hunger.
Every dollar donated provides enough food for 5 meals.
Here's our goal. You ready? We want to provide 500,000 meals for Arizonans.
St. Mary's Food Bank provides millions of pounds of food to a network of more than 600 partner agencies all across Arizona.
It's the march to 500,000 meals.
And you can join by texting FOOD to 620-620. That's FOOD to 620-620 and make your donation now.
Outspoken against hunger with Bruce and Gatos, benefiting St. Mary's Food Bank.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I've been talking about the Schwartz Laser Eye Center for years. When it comes to your vision, you want experience, precision, and a team that's done this 1,000 times. They're also the official team eye doctor of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Phoenix Suns, trusted by the pros to keep their vision game ready. Schedule your free consultation and see how Dr. Schwartz can clear things up. Visit teamidoc.com or call 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES. The Schwartz Laser Eye Center, trusted for over 25 years.
KTAR-FM, Glendale, Phoenix.
Hey, it's Bodie with NewACUnit.com. A lot of people think buying a new AC unit is complicated. It's not. Just answer a few quick questions online, see your price up front, and we'll connect you with a certified install team. No pressure, no upsells, no surprises. Just a better way to buy a new AC unit. And many customers save 50% or more. If you need a new AC unit, don't overthink it, and definitely don't pay more than you need to. Go to NewACUnit.com today.
Save thousands, save time, buy online, NewACUnit.com.
The KTAR News app, your link to live streaming audio, breaking news, podcasts, in-depth coverage of the stories that are important to you. Download the KTAR News app, and you're always in touch with Arizona's news station. The KTAR News app, presented by America Roofing.
Hi, it's Wayne from AMCO, stopping by the station to check in with Roller.
Hey, Wayne, what's going on today?
Well, the biggest question I hear lately is, do you have to go back to the dealer where you bought your car to get service or repairs?
Wayne, that's a good question. Do you?
No, Roller. If you bought a new or a new used car and you have an extended warranty contract that's hiding in your glove box, please don't forget it's there and that you can use it at any AMCO.
Oh, I thought you had to go to the dealer to keep your warranty valid.
Yes, most people do, but that's not the case. You can have your vehicle serviced at any authorized service center, and AMCO's authorized by all of the major warranty companies.
Wow, that's great. It's so nice to have other options.
I'll say AMCO has dealership quality, rental cars, no hassles, and faster service.
Wayne, that's great. And just to make sure, AMCO does more than transmissions, right?
That's right. If you need your vehicle repaired or hear, feel, see, smell, or even think you have a car issue, please call AMCO first or for a second opinion.
There you go. Google AMCO for your nearest location. That's AMCO, AA, MCO, transmissions, and a whole lot more.
Introducing healthcare coverage with care built in. AZ Blue does more than pay for care. We help deliver it. Prosano Health Plans by AZ Blue give you exclusive access to Prosano Healthcare Centers. With 10 convenient locations and $0 healthcare at Prosano Healthcare Centers included in the premium, you'll get more care from your health plan. Prosano Health Plans by AZ Blue. Learn more at azblue.com/Prosano Plans. That's azblue.com/Prosano Plans.
KTAR News now.
Good morning. Coming up on 9 o'clock, I'm Patricia Valencia.
What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot.
Record-breaking hot, in fact. The National Weather Service says the average temperature this spring was 80.2 at 6.4 degrees above normal.
There were multiple days reaching 105 degrees in the middle of March. And with that historic high pressure we saw during March, we were seeing magnitudes of high pressure similar to what we would see during the latter part of June.
Meteorologist Sean Benedict says that we could break more heat records later this month, and the monsoon could be stronger than normal this summer, too.
All of that work needs to happen every year to try to minimize fire risk
The Center for Western Priorities is reporting high wildfire risk this year in Arizona and nationwide. Aaron Weiss with the center says it's due to staffing cuts by the Trump administration at federal land management agencies, including more than 700 positions in Arizona. He's urging Congress to boost the funding levels so those agencies like Forest Service can restore staffing levels. And starting Monday, Prescott residents may see some heavy machinery in the Prescott Basin. It's part of the wildfire mitigation effort by the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management.
Barring any fires or weather concerns, the fuels reduction project is set to last until the end of 2026. Primarily, the efforts will be centered around the Oak Knoll Village as well as the Prescott Rivera and Sherman Pines areas, with signs posted along the Turley and Badger trails, both of those trails remaining open during the operations. Crews will use heavy machinery and hand crews to convert brush prone to burning into mulch and other forms that aren't as susceptible when wildfires spark. Brandon King, KTAR News.
It passes 7-0. Thank you.
The cell phone tower set to go up in Peoria's Vistancia neighborhood has been blocked by the city's zoning commission. Last night, the city council voted unanimously to overturn that decision, allowing the tower to be built. The council, including Peoria's mayor, Jason Beck, heard from more than a dozen residents, with Beck conceding the council's decision wouldn't make everyone happy, but said that there was a clear public safety need. The project completion date for the tower has not been mentioned in the meeting.
It looks for methylated blood cells, and that can tell us the presence of a colon cancer.
And there's a new exam to test for colon cancer, so you can skip that colonoscopy.
Dr. Leo Odell, Associate Medical Director for Optum Primary Care, says they want to get the word out about this new test because the American Cancer Society recently lowered the age for recommended testing from 50 to 45.
The guidelines have been in response to the fact that we're seeing colon cancer at earlier ages, and we need to get better at detecting it. 100,000 people will get colon cancer diagnosed this year, and about 50,000 will be diagnosed with rectal cancer.
However, Odell does recommend a colonoscopy if you have a family history of colon cancer. Heidi Hommel, KTAR News.
Now for a check on traffic, here's John Roller live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, thank you very much. We've pretty much cleared away the mainline accidents. Northbound I-17 looking much better. We had a down motorcycle right at the Camelback underpass, and that is cleared away. So if you are coming off the stack northbound I-17 from the westbound I-10, only light slowing from the stack up to about Dunlap, then you are good to go. We do have a crash, Thunderbird near 19th Avenue, Mill Avenue, and the Rio Salado Parkway. Crash in the clearing stages in Tempe, and a crash at Bell Road just east of Cave Creek. Traffic is brought to you by Sweet James. If you're hurt in an accident and results matter to you, call the attorneys at Sweet James at 800-900-0000 at sweetjames.com. Awarded Best Attorneys in America. John Roller, KTAR News.
Today's sunny skies and a high of 107. Right now it is 88 degrees in Tempe. Triple-digit heat, zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with a 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. I'm Patricia Valencia on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The Mike Broomhead Show, KTAR News 92.3, and the KTAR News app.
All right, thanks for spending some time with us. There is a land deal happening. The city of Phoenix agreeing to sell a piece of land at a huge discount if you talk to the Goldwater Institute, and really no public benefit, even though it might be used for affordable housing. It's an out-of-state company, so there is a lawsuit that has been filed, and the Goldwater Institute says it violates the gift clause of the Arizona Constitution. Joining us is Tony Napolitano, the senior attorney from the Goldwater Institute. You know how much I admire the work you do with the Goldwater Institute. Can you explain what this is and why you are saying this is the wrong thing to do?
Absolutely. The Arizona Constitution requires that any public expenditure or giving of value to a private company has to be met in return with something of equal or proportionate value. So here, they're giving $5 million or close to $5 million of land for about $1.5 million in cash. So they're getting a huge discount in terms of the developer. And this does not represent an appropriate use of city resources.
So when the city responds with what the benefit is going to be to low income housing, is that, I think that's their defense. How does that not offset what you're saying, that the public benefit will outweigh with the discount in the price of the land?
So the main issue here is that there is no value they've established for that low income housing. In fact, in this case, the developer is claiming that the value of the low income housing is actually their stream of revenue that they will collect as a landlord over that low income housing. So that money does not go to the city, and they have not presented any means of calculating a value for providing low income housing in itself.
So moving forward, what is the goal are you hoping just to stop the deal? You hope it doesn't have to get into a courtroom? Are you expecting them to pay more for this land? What is the goal from the Goldwater Institute?
We would like the city to have to reopen the RFP and see if they can basically find a buyer who will pay the actual value of this land. That the same as if you were, working on a house or selling a house, and you were going to have a deal fall through, you would just relist it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's relist this and find someone who's actually willing to pay the appropriate value for the land, so that we're not wasting the public assets that the city has.
And the goals of the city to build more affordable housing in the city, I think, is a good goal to have. But aren't there also tax benefits attached to people that are going to build these homes or build affordable housing?
Yes, absolutely. There are tax benefits. There are, in fact, grants from the federal government that the city acts as a pass-through, or the state could act as a pass-through. So within the proposal, we see that the developer actually is expecting to make millions in project-based vouchers, home grants, and other forms of assistance to the developer to make up for any essentially lowered revenue they would receive otherwise from their private rents.
And I know I'm asking you now to get into the mind of someone else, but why would the city think this is a good idea? What would make them believe that this is the right thing to do? If they could get somebody to pay more for the land that would build basically the same kind of affordable housing, why wouldn't that be the goal? What's the reason they're going with this developer?
Well, of course, this is all speculative, as you said, but what I think this is really showing is that they're prioritizing an agenda over responsible use and, frankly, constitutional use of public resources. And that's what this really comes down to, is whether or not they will prioritize accomplishing some political purpose, basically to the detriment of the citizens who could probably use better infrastructure or other services, city services, fire, police, etc., from the $3.3 million or so that the city is losing here on this deal.
I'm just curious about the process, if you don't mind taking us a little bit behind the scenes. When something like this comes to your attention and you start to dig into it, do you have conversations with the city about this ahead of time before you go forward with this? Are there discussions with them, or is this something that you see what's happening and it goes to court?
So we start with a demand letter, and we let the city know that we think this is an inappropriate use of funds or an inappropriate action, depending on what the circumstance is. They have a chance to respond to us and see if they want to work it out. We're just notifying them, hey, you're doing something illegal here, and we would like you to stop. Then we also have gone through a public records request process, so they know that we're serious. They know that we're looking into this, and they just continue on with their behavior. That's what leads to this ultimate lawsuit. We would prefer that they just talk to us after the records request and fix the deficiency.
Have they responded to you at all? Has there been any discussion with them, or have they basically ignored other than your records request, have they ignored your demand letter?
As far as I know, yes, they've ignored the demand letter and are proceeding in the assumption that what they are doing is legal and constitutional, which it clearly is not.
I have such an admiration for what the Goldwater Institute does. I think that you are such a watchdog that people largely don't know unless they're involved in something that you're involved in. Can you talk a little bit more about the Goldwater Institute and your goals and what you're doing all over the country?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we specialize in is state constitutions. And a lot of people don't know that state constitutions provide far greater protections for citizens on our rights, our economic rights, our property rights, and our civil rights. than the federal Constitution does. The federal Constitution really provides a floor. And so one of the things that we really try to do across the country, and especially here in Arizona, obviously, is to vindicate those rights in the state constitutions that often go overlooked.
Tony, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. I would like to talk more as this moves forward, if there gets to be a breakthrough with this, with the city, because I live in Phoenix. I pay taxes in Phoenix. We're looking at the city budget all the time and where there are shortfalls or where they're having to cut back on some things. And I think you're right. Anytime we can save the taxpayers money or make sure they're getting value for this, it's an important topic. And I appreciate you coming on today to talk about it.
Thank you.
That is Tony Napolitano spending a few moments with a senior attorney at the Goldwater Institute. It's one of those things that I think it doesn't go overlooked, but there are so many big news stories, and I don't know the details of this, which is why I had them on. We will reach out to the city and ask them to respond. I understand the goal of building affordable housing. I think it is a noble thing to try to do. It's a noble goal to have affordable housing in our city. I live in Phoenix, and I realize there are a lot of working people that work in Phoenix that would love to live close to work, and sometimes it's just not affordable for them. But is this a proper use of that land? Not proper use, but is that the proper price to pay for that land? That's always a great question. So if you don't know a lot about the Goldwater Institute, you should look into them. They are a great organization, been around for a very long time, and they really defend people's rights, and they do great work. And I just wanted to bring some attention to this if you're a Phoenician, and not jumping to conclusions. We will reach out to the proper people at the city of Phoenix and see if we can get an answer from them as to what their, not a defense, but what their side of this story is. Because I think it's fair to hear both sides. But if you're talking about $3.3 million, it's a drop in the bucket for the overall city budget. But if the land is worth so much more, and there are developers out there that are willing to develop low income or affordable housing and pay closer to full price for it, is that not the city's obligation with your land? It's a city-owned property. You're a taxpayer in Phoenix. Shouldn't they be doing the best they can on behalf of the citizens? Now, maybe they believe they are with affordable housing, but shouldn't they sell that land for the most money they can get for it? I think that's their obligation to us as people that might. I say that because I live in Phoenix. So we'll get to the bottom of it. We're going to talk more about it, and a big thank you to the Goldwater Institute, as always, for the great work that they do. I always appreciate the things that they are working on. Quick, 30 homers, 30 steals, 2 mystery bobbleheads. Corbin Carroll Mystery Bobblehead Night, June 6th. KTAR is a family 4-pack to give away. Just text the word bobble to 620-620 or visit the contest page at KTAR.com to enter. Coming up in just a moment, we are going to talk about schools and are they being as transparent as they should be. Let's talk about Tombstone Tactical for a moment. Here in the month of June, they celebrate Father's Day. So they've got a huge event coming up on June 20th. It's a Saturday. Mark it on your calendar. But they've got deals going on all month. So if you've got a dad in your life that is a firearms enthusiast, now is the time to jump on board and get something at Tombstone Tactical. But on the 20th, they are going to be partnering up with Granite Mountain Distillery, Lickin' Fingers Barbecue, and is going to be there as a food truck. Great giveaways all day long. They're giving away a $100 Tombstone Tactical gift card, Lickin' Fingers Barbecue sauces and rub bundles, a bottle of bourbon from Granite Mountain, a certificate for a free class from Inner Circle Protection. They've got sales on the Man Can mystery boxes. That's an ammo can that's filled with goodies. Daniel Defense rifles and shotguns on sale all day long in the store, and sales all month long. They are located on the southbound frontage road of the I-17 between Peoria and Dunlap. Can't miss them. Find their inventory online at tombstonetactical.com.
Hey, it's Bruce and Gatos, and we're outspoken against hunger.
Every dollar donated provides enough food for 5 meals.
Here's our goal. You ready? We want to provide 500,000 meals for Arizonans.
St. Mary's Food Bank provides millions of pounds of food to a network of more than 600 partner agencies all across Arizona.
It's the march to 500,000 meals.
And you can join by texting FOOD to 620-620. That's FOOD to 620-620 and make your donation now.
Outspoken against hunger with Bruce and Gatos, benefiting St. Mary's Food Bank.
Message and data rates may apply.
For over a century now, Ford has been part of America. In my family, it's been generations. Paul Calvisi here. My grandfather worked for Ford Motor. My first car, a classic Mustang, still have it. But going to our Desert Ford dealers today means getting more than a vehicle. We're talking a full suite of benefits like complimentary Ford mobile service or try Ford pickup and delivery. Yes, to and from your door, and it's easy scheduling in the Ford Pass app. Tough would be built Ford tough. More than a slogan, it's an identity of the F-Series trucks, and the all-new 2026 F-150 is the best yet. With a completely redesigned interior and exterior adventure, how about the Ford Bronco Sport? It says, let's get it, with 5 available trims so you can forge your own path. We recently bought a new Explorer at our Desert Ford dealers. Love the flexible seating up to 7, all the cargo room, the advanced tech. Bottom line, Ford is the future at our Desert Ford dealers. Just click buyfordnow.com.
KTAR News Flash.
At 9:16, I'm Patricia Valencia. This is what you need to know right now. The Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management is starting a wildfire mitigation project in Prescott next week. Starting Monday, more than 1,000 acres in the Prescott Basin will be subject to fuels reduction project, a procedure to convert brush that would be prone to burning into mulch. The project will last through the end of the year. And Carnival Corporation, parent to the largest cruise line in the world, is working to plug a data leak, potentially affecting millions of passengers. The scammers using social engineering. Rather than breaking into the company's computer system directly, the hacker gains the confidence of a worker. In Carnival's case, the customer data, including passport numbers, were compromised. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar and never learn to play it, but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that but that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, it depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Springtime in Phoenix. Don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, specifically formulated for our climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Phoenix, right now get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield owner Jim Williams.
This offer is limited, so call me at 855-4U-RHINO. That's 855-4, the letter U, Rhino.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Getting ready to book a flight this summer? Hi, Joe Huizenga. We'll tell you what to watch out for so you don't wind up booking through a bogus travel website. Becky Lynn and me are coming up tonight at 6 with Arizona's Evening News. Check us out right here on the KTAR News YouTube channel, on air, online, and the KTAR app.
All right. I know that you are very involved in your daughter's schooling. Does this concern you at all? There's a story from KJAZ about the reporting or the recorded school board meetings and whether or not they are retaining them for the amount of time that they're required. Three school districts, one of them being a major school district down in Tucson, I think it's the Amphitheater School District, over 11,000 students, admitted that there's a requirement of 3 months, that if you record a meeting, that you have to keep that recording posted for 3 months. Now, I don't know why anybody would delete it anyway, but they can after 3 months. But there are 3 of these districts that have admitted that they have gotten rid of it. Does that concern you at all?
I wonder why they got rid of it.
That's what it, more than anything else, it breeds a little bit more distrust.
Yeah, was it done maliciously? Was it just they ran out of room on, They
But how do you run out of room?
I
If
know,
you're
that's what I'm
posting-
saying. If it's online, that doesn't make sense. If it was, I don't know. That's just, it's a little fishy, I would say.
And that's so the questions everybody has about transparency, which is one of my favorite conversations that has now happening, I think, at every level of government, and it should, is that are we being told the truth? Do we really know what's going on? There are rules in place for executive session. There's rules in place for open meeting laws. All of these things are there. So I don't know that bodies would have to be forced to be transparent, but it forces transparency. And in this case, if there's if you're asking districts, all right, what is your recording policy? Because they're not required to record. They got to post the minutes of the meeting. But if you're recording your meetings, you have to post them. You have to keep them available for 3 months. What would be the reason why you wouldn't?
Yeah, otherwise that something went wrong or they said something they didn't want to be heard again. And how early are they being deleted? Just like right away?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either. But isn't
that would make sense.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to me that, because I sit on a couple of different boards and we get meeting minutes after the meeting. And even though I was in the meeting, sometime when you read the minutes, you don't know what the heck it doesn't fill in all the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that are concerned, and I know many people that want to go to a board meeting, but they can't make it, so they go and watch it online. They want to see what happened at the board meeting. If there is a big issue in a school district that's being debated by the school board and you want information, people want to go back and watch and see what was said at the meetings.
It's like your receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're required to keep them, why are you not? And then who is going to be held accountable? Because I believe that someone does need to be held accountable. And that is, you're required by law to do certain things, just like I am, just like you are. If we violate that, we're going to be held accountable. And I wonder what accountability is going to happen here. I'm not making accusations of anything, you did anything wrong, but it sure looks like it. It sure looks like you're hiding something.
Yeah, anytime somebody deletes a message or something, you trying to hide something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? This story out of Santan Valley in Pinal County is kind of crazy. The former president of a parent-teacher group, EduPrise Schools, has been arrested. She's accused of embezzling of $100,000.
That's a lot of PTO money. Wow.
Authorities accuse her of embezzling between $25,000 and $100,000 from the Parent-Teacher Network or PTN account. The sheriff said the money was used on tickets to NASCAR, the theater, and DoorDash.
Wow, DoorDash is expensive.
Are you saying you understand why she did it?
No, I'm just saying it's expensive.
A teacher for EduPrise said several of her fellow teachers are out thousands of dollars. They use their own money to cover expenses, believing that PTN would reimburse them. Mart said they're not sure if they will ever get their money. They said, we're all pretty crushed. Students need a lot of resources. They didn't get them because of that. The sheriff said the teacher became suspicious of activity and called the sheriff's office to report an incident I guess, last July.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So when asked to give an explanation during an interview, Teeple said she pleaded the fifth. She wouldn't answer questions.
What a human being.
The sheriff said that more arrests are likely because the woman, her last name is Carranza, transferred $30,000 to a family member.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine being that kid? How embarrassing. That's awful.
The idea that you're going to do this to kids and teachers, it's just...
You're the bottom of the barrel, my friend.
Yeah, and also when you look at these things that happen... like you volunteer on the PTO, and so many people are just like you. I just want to do what's good. I want to be involved.
What they do and how much they have to do.
Yeah.
So that's really unfortunate. It's really sad that she stole that from them.
Yeah. If she did, it's still an allegation.
Allegedly.
Pleads the fifth. Where do we rank in Arizona in terms of racial equality in the classroom? Shira Tanz, our Education Solutions reporter, writes a story. We ranked 18th nationally when it comes to racial equality in the classroom. and I'm not quite sure. The finance website compiled the 2026 best states for racial equality in education, looking at difference between black, white students when it comes to test scores, college attainment, and high school graduation rates. The rankings are based on weighted average of 6 metrics. So Arizona's kind of top 20, which is not a bad place to be. But I wonder what does this actually mean? I have no idea.
Yeah, like by out of how many, and I don't know that. Yeah,
I don't know what the actual impact of that is on anything. You know, outcomes are a big deal. I think we all should be looking at what the outcomes are and what we want the outcomes to be. So I don't know. I look at this and I think, man, we harp on schools so much, but there's some legitimate things that are going on that need to be looked into. That doesn't mean anybody did anything wrong, but that's that open book idea that we're going to be transparent. And if you're not transparent, we should want to know why you're not being transparent. Hey, it's Wednesday. It means that the face-off happens this afternoon at 5. Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Their panel today on the face-off is former Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer, former State Senator Michelle Ugenti-Rita, and Barry Markson discussing the Iran war, the power struggle for the Maricopa County Recorder and the Board of Supervisors, and a lot more. You can watch the face-off on the KTAR News app or the KTAR YouTube channel. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about the economy. We've got a great update here in just a second. To speak of the economy, let's talk about Resolution Copper and a couple things that they have going on. The Resolution Copper project is one that I absolutely believe in. It is growing. As a matter of fact, they are hiring. Look for Resolution Copper. You can apply for a job if you live in the area of Superior, Arizona, or you want to work for a great company that is going to be providing up 25% of the nation's copper needs for the next half a century to 75 years, possibly. You're going to want to apply for a job at Resolution Copper. They have a water deal that they just made with the surrounding areas where they're helping to provide water to ranchers and farmers, doing more great work in the community. On top of that, the billions of dollars they're going to be rolling into the coffers of the state. It's going to be a lot of tax dollars rolling in, jobs provided for people in the area, and again, fulfilling those copper needs. This is a great environmentally friendly project and one you're going to want to look into. I am such a believer the more I get to know them, and I know you will be too. Go look up Resolution Copper.
KTAR has your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Arizona Diamondbacks host the Washington Nationals Saturday, June 6th on Corbin Carroll Mystery Bobblehead Night. Text BOBBLE to 620-620 or visit the KTAR contest page to enter. Text BOBBLE to 620-620. Message and data rates may apply.
It's summertime and the heat is on with backyard parties, grilling galore, Sunburn City. Ouch. Keep your cool with Coit. We'll take the heat off with deep cleaning for your outdoor concrete, natural stone, patio furniture, and more. So bring it on, summer, and bring in the pros at Coit for a like-new clean with guaranteed results. Get 30% off any outdoor cleaning service. Call 800-4COIT or visit Coit.com today.
We watch these lawyers get on TV and say they're going to treat their clients like family, when we know they put secret mandatory quotas on their lawyers. That means your own lawyer pressures you into a premature, terrible result. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. We don't set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome and by each client's happiness.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
At QC Kinetics, we're all about keeping you in the game, helping you get lasting relief from joint pain. That's why we're excited to announce that QC Kinetics is now partnering with the National Pickleball League. So many of our satisfied patients are avid pickleball players, and they're thrilled with how we've helped them get back on the court. As lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League, we're committed to help pickleball fans of all ages with the latest, most advanced regenerative cell treatments. These treatments use your body's own healing power, revitalizing and restoring damaged joint tissue the natural way, with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Whether you're a pickleball fanatic or enjoy golf or running or tennis, stay in the game with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, proud to promote active, pain-free living as a lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-7246. In Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. That's 837-7246. 837-7246.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
KTAR News now.
Good morning. It's 9:31. I'm Patricia Valencia. The National Weather Service says it was a record-breaking hot spring in the Phoenix area, and the summer is likely to break some more records, too.
For March, April, and May, the average temperature was 80.2 degrees, 6.4 degrees above normal. National Weather Service meteorologist Sean Benedict says we could break more heat records this month.
We're eyeing potentially towards maybe the middle of June, developing a stronger high pressure, so we might start to see some records creep in.
As for the monsoon, Benedict says there's a good chance it will be stronger this summer as well. Chris Havlick, KTAR News.
All of that work needs to happen every year to try to minimize fire risk.
Conservation group the Center for Western Priorities is reporting high wildfire risk this year in Arizona and nationwide. Aaron Weiss with the center says it's due to staffing cuts by the Trump administration at the federal land management agencies, including more than 700 positions in Arizona.
States can't pick up that gap. Arizona doesn't have the money to take over those kinds of wildfire responsibilities. This is a problem that has to be addressed with Congress and with the administration.
He's urging Congress to boost funding levels so those agencies like the Forest Service can restore staffing levels.
A KTAR News exclusive.
For the last 16 years, the Social Security Administration has had to use its trust fund reserves to pay benefits as more money's been going out than coming in. Those reserves are expected to run out by 2032, which could trigger a nearly 25% cut to benefits across the board. Congressman David Schweikert exclusively tells Arizona's Morning News that's why it's imperative to get it fixed now.
Just to cover the shortfall in the Social Security Trust Fund, and at the same time, the Medicare Trust Fund is empty. We calculate in the first year is $638 billion. Equal to 60% of what we spend on defense today.
The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates nearly 1.4 million Arizonans would lose more than $500 a month on average. And the Department of Health and Human Services have proposed to close the Indian Health Service Tucson area office to help align the agency. Arizona Congresswoman Adelita Grajava says that poses a risk to patient safety as the next closest office is 2 hours away in Phoenix.
This consolidation creates a systemic barrier to care, directly violating the statute of intent of the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act.
She says it also violates the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act, which mandates HHS and IHS must improve the delivery of these services. Now a check on traffic from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center. Watch for slowing heading out of downtown on the westbound side of the I-10 from an earlier crash, a car fire near Loop 101 Agua Fria Freeway. Also watch for a crash in South Phoenix at Central Avenue near Southern Avenue. This traffic update is brought to you by the Lund Mortgage Team. Right now through June 30th, Lund Mortgage is covering 1-year interest rate by down on your purchase. That's full 1% lower rate the entire first year. You pay nothing for it. Terms and conditions apply. That's lundmortgage.com. Sunny skies and a high of 107 for today. Thursday, we see a high of 108. Friday, sunny with a high of 106. It's going to be hot. Right now, it's 88 degrees in Chandler. Triple-digit heat, zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with a 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. I'm Patricia Valencia on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Happy Wednesday. Are we stuck in another forever war in the Middle East? The Face-Off tackles that and more as we gather some of the most outspoken and opinionated people in the Valley. The Face-Off at 5 only on Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. On air, online, and on the KTAR YouTube app.
All right, good news, bad news. It seems to be mixed reports all the time when we're looking at the economy of the United States and kind of wondering what direction we're going. Stock market today, a bit of an adjustment. It's been closing up for the most part recently, but today we're down about 0.8% on the Dow right now. It's down 422 points. It's down about 6.6% and a little over 1% on the NASDAQ. The S&P is down 0.6%. We are watching gas prices, or I should say oil prices, continue to climb. It's almost $98 per barrel again on Brent crude oil, and that's the futures, and just about 96 on the WTI or West Texas Intermediate. So we'll be watching that. But where is this coming from? And I find this to be interesting. Job numbers remain fairly strong, better than expected. The ADP, or the private sector job numbers for May, ADP says that the 122,000 jobs were added, and that was beat the estimate of 117,000, which is good news. 7.6 million jobs available in America, which is the best it's been in a couple of years. So the job market remains strong. The issue that I'm concerned about is wages and outpacing inflation, because we know inflation is remaining high. It's ticked up again because of oil prices. And so gas prices go up. When fuel prices go up, everything goes up. Not only that, petroleum is used in so many different things. So where are we economically? Where are we actually with the economy? Arizona, where are we positioned? How secure do people feel in their job? That's always a good question. Well, we're in a different world. We live in a different...
We live in a different time zone.
Yeah, we do.
Figuratively speaking.
We have our job is like there are a lot of people that are concerned AI is going to decimate this industry and others, and I'm not. Maybe if I was entering this world, I might think something like that, but where I am, I don't know that's going to happen. You know?
Sorry, I was about to sneeze. I bet AI couldn't do that. No, I don't think I guess because with this job, it's more of our personality, and I don't think AI can reduplicate that without being, I don't know, a genuine person. That would just be weird.
I don't know, Mike, do you think AI can recreate Patricia's dad jokes?
I know Jim Sharp can.
Oh, God.
But but in the world we're living in, because I got a Bernie Sanders cut about a bill and what's going on with AI and how it's revolutionizing things. Things just do naturally change. And what I mean by that is the radio meant something. When I was a kid, the radio was everything. I remember, I think we've talked about this. At night, I would listen to the radio even when I was supposed to be asleep. I would actually put the radio under my pillow, and I would listen quietly. And I can still remember when I hear certain songs, it reminds me of that time period. There was the guy at night. I lived in a town called Fort Myers, so the AM music station, top 40 station, was WMYR for Meyer, and the DJ's name was John Lentry. I'll never forget the guy. I never met him. I'll never forget that guy. He went Jumpin' Johnny Jive is what they used to call him, and I'll never forget him. And his voice, I can still hear his voice in my head. I've actually tried to find the guy and tell him I'm in radio now. He would remember me only because I called the radio station about every night. But it was a different relationship.
It was, yeah.
You know, and I think there are people that still, I think the reason why this format remains popular is that people like a local connection with a person.
Oh, definitely. And I had the same kind of similar story in my hometown with DJ named Magic Mike, not
Okay.
the movie. Okay,
Yeah.
it came out way before then.
Yeah.
But I listened to him when I was a kid on Magic 104.9, and I ended up working with him, which is really amazing. Came full circle. But yeah, it's totally. It's all the personality. You can't make that up.
It's similar to our podcast with Becky Lynn.
Oh yes.
Becky Lynn is Hall of Famer. She's on in the afternoon or evenings now with Joe Huizenga and Arizona's Evening News. But she was a part of the Tim and Willie show forever. And Tim and Willie were icons, and still are in this town, Hall of Famers themselves. And I was such a fan of them. I would go to their events. They used to do a Christmas show at night, a breakfast show. I think they called it the breakfast show at night. And they just would, it was terrific. Every year at Christmas time, they had CDs they put out. It was just a different time, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying I don't think that in this industry, I don't know, I don't have too much worry about that part.
No.
Yeah, but I could see other people's worries.
Bernie Sanders here. He's talking. First of all, I like the guy's voice. He sounds like a Muppet. But
looks like one too.
He does. He does look like a Muppet. But Bernie Sanders talking about AI and what his demand is of the AI industry. It's a difference in political beliefs, but this is strange to me.
Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for joining me. I probably don't need to tell you that artificial intelligence will almost certainly be the most transformational technology in the history of the world. It will profoundly affect the lives of every man, woman, and child in our country and, in fact, throughout the world. It is already bringing significant changes to our economy, our democracy, our emotional well-being, our environment, and how we educate and raise our kids. There is also a very real fear that as AI becomes smarter than human beings, it could eventually function independent of human control with potentially catastrophic consequences. The question is not whether AI will change the world. It will.
That's ominous. I mean, that is an ominous prediction that they are going to AI is going to operate independent. That's like sci-fi movie stuff.
A little bit. It's getting out of control.
Yeah, I just so first
Did you see that story lately about those 3 robots that were talking to each other? They put like those phones next to each other and they're talking, you know, because they're like, oh, an AI bot, and then they started talking in that weird code language.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's a no for me.
I don't have, I am not fearful of AI. But maybe I'm just ignorant. It's possible.
I don't know if I'm fearful, but it's just weird. Like, that's not right.
Yeah. Well, if their prediction was right, if his prediction is right, that they're saying that eventually AI is going to be smarter than human beings, and then they're going to be able to act independent. Yeah, that's
they're already
worrisome.
turning they're powering up by themselves and stuff like that. I've seen stories. I don't know how true they are, but
well,
everything you read online
the
is
privacy
true, right?
concerns are more for me than anything else. Like when we talked about this last week, I think with Alexa, that a guy was a nursing student. And said that he was tired, and it's because you go to nursing school, and he had never said that out loud.
Yeah, is that thing listening to me?
And he said, "How did you guys know that?" And they said, "We've got more information, and I shouldn't have said it before you brought it up." And
that's weird that it had a conscience that I shouldn't have brought it up because you didn't know.
Yeah,
you didn't know that I knew.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
Very strange. Very, very strange. In a moment, we are going to talk water. It is always a big topic here on the show, and we're going to talk about how Phoenix is kind of leading the way and setting a good example on water management. Woody, Buzz, the whole gang back. You can see them first. Win a family 4-pack to an advanced screening of Toy Story 5. Enter to win at the contest page at KTAR.com. Coming up, we are going to talk water. It happens in just one moment. Sweet James Accident Attorneys. If you are injured due to someone else's negligence, you think of a crash. That's the thing we think of first because that's the most often that happens. But it could be a slip and fall. It could be a dog bite. It could be anything where someone else's negligence causes you injury. We've established you need an attorney. There's a lot of choices. Why do I choose Sweet James? Let me give you the list. They have been around for over 25 years. This is an elite law firm. been named best attorneys in America. They have an in-house trial team that's been to court over 500 times. How important that is to know that if you're not being treated by the insurance companies fairly, they know that Sweet James will go to court. It's not going to be a settlement that's not in your favor. They have recovered over $2 billion for accident victims. They have a 98% success rate. That resume is why I called them when I was injured, and I love the results and what they're doing for me. SweetJames.com. That's SweetJames.com or 800-9-million. 800-900-0000.
Rosie on the house.
Every Arizona homeowner's best friend for over 30 years. Saturday mornings 8 till 11 on KTAR News 92.3 FM and the KTAR News app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
All right, show of hands. Who's got that leak at home, right? A clog you've been ignoring. I know. Been there at Casa VC. No more, because right now you can get $75 off any plumbing repair with day and night air conditioning, heating, and plumbing. Yep, from small fixes to major repairs, the day and night expert plumbers are ready to get things flowing again quickly, reliably. Don't deal with plumbing problems when you can get $75 off right now. Any plumbing repair at dayandnightair.com. Limited time offer, conditions apply. Schedule online at dayandnightair.com.
For over 35 years, Presidential Pools and Spas has been perfecting the art of building custom pools. With more than 100 years of combined experience, their team has transformed over 35,000 Arizona backyards into breathtaking escapes. And the best part, they handle everything: permits, design, construction, so you don't have to. This isn't just about putting in a pool, it's about creating the place where family, friends, and memories come together. Make your backyard the destination with Presidential Pools and Spas, Arizona's #1 pool builder.
LaDonna Harvey here. It is home selling season, and you know that the biggest mistake you could make while selling your home is settling for less money. The good news is you have an Orchard backing you up. That's not going to happen. Lowball offers can really wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less because you are just too tired of this nonsense. Well, that does not happen. You don't have to settle with an Orchard agent. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale. Their local agents right here in the Valley can help you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front to buy and move into your new home. First, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. And then once you're settled in, your Orchard agent is going to help sell your home on the market for top dollar. With Orchard, you don't have to settle, and you certainly don't have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much you could get for your home? Visit Orchard.com and get a free home valuation. Orchard.com.
KTAR News Flash.
At 9:48, I'm Patricia Valencia. This is what you need to know right now. New this hour, one person has died and another has been seriously injured after a shooting at Desert Sky Mall in Phoenix last night. According to police, multiple people were detained, but none of them were suspected to be the shooter. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to call Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here from my friends at Window World. With the Arizona weather heating up, it's good to know that Window World windows are specifically made for the harsh Arizona climate. Right now, you can lock in 7 large premium vinyl sliding windows, all with energy-efficient solar zone sun shield glass, tax included, for one all-in upfront price of only $5,989. And that price includes Window World's noise reduction upgrade. Plus, you can save an additional $100 off any new patio or entry door. Best of all, their certified installers can complete most projects in just one day. See for yourself why nearly half of all new Window World customers come from happy referrals. So don't wait for summer. Schedule your free in-home estimate today at windowworldphoenix.com. Window World, simply the best for definitely less.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
LaDonna here. The World Cup is about to get underway in the U.S. Do you know what is even happening right now? Well, if you don't, we can help. Tomorrow morning from 5 to 8 on Arizona's Morning News. Catch us on the KTAR YouTube channel.
This is how we do it. Way to go, Patricia.
I love it. That's how you produce a show. I'm so dumb. How do you put up with me? I'm sorry.
I pray for your boyfriend. I haven't even met Coy.
That's why I'm never home.
I haven't even met Coy, but he's on my prayer list.
Prayer list? Wow.
Yeah. He's on my list of people I pray for daily. If I was still Catholic,
so
I'd write a
funny.
candle.
So this is how we do it. What do we do?
All right, this story written by Heidi Hommel, KTAR.com. She is our water expert here at KTAR News. How Phoenix leads by example when it comes to water conservation. There's a lot being talked about with water. I just did it really was one of the most interesting times I've spent. And if you think about water and you think there's nothing entertaining about it, we have got to get him on the show. His name is Rhett. I'm trying to think of his last name. I'll think of it in a moment. But he is the water legal professor on water law at ASU.
Very cool.
And I've never heard anybody talk about law and water.
Does he have a PhD in H2O?
Yes, he does. He's an H2O PhD.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Letters.
A JD something. He talked about we are not running out of water, we're running out of cheap water. And he talked about the history of water and how it works in Arizona. And it really was such an incredible time because I learned so much about the history, which brings us to where we are today. But the city of Phoenix is modeling the behavior it would like to see from its residents when it comes to water conservation. So every drop matters. We're a desert community. The vice mayor, Kesha Hodge Washington, told KTAR News, and they said, here's a look at some of the ways Arizona's largest city is working to conserve our precious resource. The city's aviation department has saved 5 million gallons of water by a year by replacing over 11 acres of non-functional grass with drought-tolerant landscaping. That's an incredible amount of water.
Yeah, and it seems like a good fix.
They installed smart irrigation technology, which monitors for leaks and measures soil moisture so landscaping doesn't get overwatered. This is one that gets me because I have a sprinkler system at my house. And I am very careful with how I water because I don't want to overwater. But I also found out recently I had a leak. And I don't know how long that leak was there. And the first thing I thought of, it's costing me money. But it wasn't just that it cost me money. We harp on this all the time. And here I am.
I know, it's funny that you say that because recently I just discovered that the shower has a small drip. And it's getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I'm like, I bet you anything that's wasting so much water. We don't know. It's running all day.
The other thing I'm going to look into for my house because it doesn't have it, but I think it's a valuable tool for people, is you know what a recirc pump is?
No.
Okay, so what it does is, you know how when you go like in the bathroom and you turn on the hot water and it takes
a while.
2 minutes before the hot water to come?
Right.
A recirc pump just circulates so that it's always right at the tap. So once the water cools off, it circulates through the house so that you're not running water down the drain waiting for the water to get hot.
Yes, that's so smart.
And so I want to look into a recirc pump at my house just because I think it would be a more responsible thing to do. I could afford to buy one of those.
Instead of letting the shower run for a couple minutes before you get in.
Or when you go to wash your face, when I go to shave or something,
do the
you want
same
hot
thing
water.
every morning.
Yeah.
Waiting.
So when you go to shave your face
exactly. Every morning.
Phoenix Aviation also saved 22 million gallons each year by updating the airport cooling towers. That is.
I know, that's so crazy to see that those fixes.
The Public
are saving
Works.
that much.
Public Works installed low-flow toilets in downtown Phoenix public buildings. The parks saved more than 7 million gallons annually.
That is a lot of water.
So it talks about how we can conserve, and I love this topic. The easiest water conservation practices for residents to adopt are replacing grass and installing toilet leak detection devices, like you were just talking about having a leak in the shower. They have a Cash for Grass program. They pay homeowners $2 per square foot to remove grass and replace it with a minimum of 250 square feet.
That's very interesting. Maybe I could do that with my front yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just did our backyard.
A specialist will come out and perform an assessment free of charge for you to determine how you can save to be better stewards of water. So, did you replace in your backyard? I know you have. It's very cool. Did you replace grass?
Yes.
You ought to look in and see.
Actually, it wasn't. It was there was grass there. It was really dead and turning into just dirt.
Yeah, but if you replaced it with something that you don't have to water anymore,
we replaced it with turf.
I wonder if you can get a reimbursement.
I bet you we could. Look at you, Michael Broomhead.
Trying to save you some
money.
Ideas.
Yeah,
I think it would be great, wouldn't it?
Especially with that, for sure.
So it is. It's interesting when you look at this, because we are. It's frustrating when you look at the negotiations that are going on, the upper basin states and lower basin states, Central Arizona Project, Colorado River Water. Arizona has done a very good job out of necessity, and it's why we are not running out of water. The message needs to be sent clearly. We're not running out of water, but everybody in Arizona understands we live in a desert, so we make a concerted effort to manage the water. And that's just one thing. The city of Phoenix, I'm critical of a lot of things sometimes, but the city making a concerted effort, it's not an inexpensive thing for the Phoenicians to do. But if we are conserving the water to make sure we're using as little as we need to, and then we are capturing rainwater the best we can, we have underground storage, all of these things make it easier, because the cuts are not coming to you and me at our houses. The cuts that are coming are going to be to agriculture. We know how expensive food is already, but when you got to water cattle and crops and it's going to be more money, or they've got to cut back, that could be serious. I mean, could be very serious. Coming up, we are going to talk about what's going on in the Middle East, the president's claim about Iran and what's happening, and our attacks continuing by Israel. We'll do it in a moment. How about moving Team 6 and your next move? I want to talk to veterans. I talk to veterans quite a bit, but I will say this. If you're a veteran and you're looking for work, you go to the top of the list. They are hiring. Anybody wants to apply can apply at Moving Team 6. They offer a signing bonus. They have overtime available. They're going to train you very well. They're going to respect you. They treat their employees with a great deal of respect. I've met a lot of them. And they love to work for Moving Team 6. Moving Team 6 believes that happy employees make happy customers. And I believe that to be true as well. And they stand by that. They live by that credo. Also, if you're a veteran, hiring them means you're probably going to have a veteran on the crew. But in addition to that, they offer a discount to veterans because they believe you've earned it with your service to your country. Everyone should be calling Moving Team 6, but if you're a veteran, it's a no-brainer. They are great people, valley-wide, nationwide. If you're moving across the country, go to movingteam6.com. Spell out the word 6, movingteam6.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KTAR-FM, Glendale, Phoenix.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years.
I'm done with this. Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KTAR News now.
Good morning. Coming up on 10 o'clock, I'm Patricia Valencia. The Social Security Administration is expected to run out of its trust fund reserves in 2032, which will cut retirement benefits nearly 25% across the board. The nonpartisan Committee for the Responsible Federal Budget estimates nearly 1.4 million Arizonans would lose more than $500 a month on average. And the Department of Health and Human Services has proposed to close the Indian Health Service Tucson area office.
The department says the move is necessary to align the agency. Arizona Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva says this will negatively impact health services to tribal populations, adding it violates the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act.
The manner in which IHS alignment is occurring undermines tribal sovereignty and violates federal trust responsibilities we have to Native nations.
She also has concerns about removing diabetes consultant field positions, saying the targeted critical care is needed in those indigenous communities. Heidi Hommel, KTAR News.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration data shows that the valley had its hottest spring on record, with average temperatures around 80 degrees. Randy Cervini, a professor of geographical sciences and urban planning at ASU, joined Arizona's Morning News to explain why this happens.
This was the result of an extremely large high pressure system. When you get high pressure, you get clear skies, you get sunshine coming down to the ground, and the chance to warm up to incredibly hot temperatures.
The former Phoenix spring heat record was set in 1989 when the valley saw an average temperature of 77 degrees.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Speaking of that heat, the National Weather Service is expecting more record heat later this month, and meteorologist Sean Benedict says the heat could contribute to a stronger monsoon season.
We did not have good snowpack at all, so actually with less snowpack, things may actually heat up more quickly as we head through June and develop the monsoon high circulation a little bit earlier and then pull moisture in here earlier.
This spring, Phoenix set a new record with heat with an average temperature of 80.2 degrees at 6.4 degrees above normal.
All of that work needs to happen every year to try to minimize fire risk.
The federal government is falling behind on wildfire prevention, according to one conservation group.
The Center for Western Priorities, a conservation advocacy group, is reporting high wildfire risk this year. Aaron Weiss with the center tells KTAR it's true throughout the Southwest and in Arizona.
Between low winter snowpack levels, ongoing drought, record-breaking spring temperatures, we have above normal potential for significant wildfire risk.
But he also says staffing cuts by the Trump administration at the Forest Service and other agencies means there's less support for communities trying to prevent these fires, including more than 700 cut positions in Arizona. He's urging Congress to boost funding levels so those agencies can restore staffing levels. Ballin Overstoles, KTAR News.
The Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management is starting a wildfire mitigation project in Prescott this week.
1,150 acres are the focus of a fuels reduction project south of Prescott. The aim is to turn brush vegetation, which could easily spark in a wildfire, into mulch and other less flammable substances. The work will primarily affect Oak Knoll Village along with the Sherman Pines and Prescott Rivera neighborhoods, with heavy machinery used initially before hand crews step in for the rockier and steeper areas. In a statement, Forest and Fire Management Chief Darrell Willis calls the communities in the area among the most vulnerable in Arizona, adding the efforts will complement those done in the nearby Prescott National Forest. Brandon King, KTAR News.
Now let's check on the roads with traffic from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center. Lanes are opening back up from an earlier crash and a car fire on the westbound I-10 near the Loop 101 Agua Fria Freeway. There's also a crash with injuries on the east side at 28th Street and Bell Road. This traffic update is brought to you by Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Join Stuart Willis for the Asset Preservation Hour each week as he empowers and educates those in or near retirement. Sundays at 2 p.m. right here on KTAR. Sunny skies for today with a high of 107. It's only going to get hotter from here. 88 degrees in Buckeye right now. Triple-digit heat, zero stress. Homes 2X will buy your home on demand with a 100% full value guarantee, and you can stay rent-free. Sell your home at homes2x.com. I'm Patricia Valencia on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The Mike Broomhead Show. KTAR News 92.3 and the KTAR News app.
So checking on the latest from the Middle East, and the president says that the Iranians have agreed to not have nuclear weapons, and he says that no U.S. troops, no ground troops will be needed. The question is for everybody is the timeline, and we are impatient, and I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. We were told that this was going to be about 5 weeks. Now, I remain supportive of what's happening. I think it was the right thing to do. I think we are doing it the right way. I think the president is showing more patience than we thought that he would. When the bombings continue to happen, the Iranians continue to lob bombs and lob drones at their neighbors. And there really isn't a negotiation that we can really make sure we trust. That is the biggest issue for me, is not being able to trust them. Forcing them into something. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play this again. Secretary of State Rubio made a statement about the Strait of Hormuz and in opening it and what has to happen. And it sounds like a lot of it is because of the military action, but also the diplomatic part of it, the isolation that may come, that even people that tend to be very stubborn and being willing to live through some very, very difficult times to get what they want. Not everybody has a breaking point. I just thought this was interesting.
Well, it's been challenging to deal with them diplomatically because, for example, an offer will be made and then it takes 5 or 6 days to get a response because you have to get it through the whole system. They have to find the supreme leader wherever he hides. They got to get him to sign off, and that's their system. Their system has always been multi-layered in this way. It's obviously become more complex because of the damage they suffered during the war. But look, suffice it to say, Iran has to pay a price. They're not going to change their position out of the kindness of their heart. There has to be a pressure point on them that causes them to realize they cannot continue to close the straits, or they face crushing economic consequences, but also, global diplomatic isolation, which they have proven in the past to be susceptible to. But you're right, they have a high pain threshold, but they don't have an unlimited pain threshold. Nobody does.
And, and it's easy for leadership that doesn't care about its citizens. And what I mean by that is when you look at the Ayatollahs, they are going to live a comfortable life. The leadership is, they are underground. They are safe in bunkers. And they are not the ideal life to live, but they are going to be very wealthy. They will live a very good lifestyle while their people suffer. So what ends up happening because of the revolution of the possible revolt of the people is they're going to have to negotiate, because if the economic times are so bad for the people, with the weakened leadership structure that's there now, with the, I would say, almost an inability to have a cohesive government where they know that their leadership structure, we have a leadership structure. Whether you like the people in charge or not, we have a leadership structure. They don't necessarily have the same structure they had 3 months ago. So it's weak. And if the people continue to suffer at the hands of what they believe bad policy from their leadership, they're more concerned about that because the rest of the world's not going to help them. If the rest of the world finally stands up and says, we are done with you, we are not going to do business with you. Because in the past, we know that sanctions have come from the U.S. The U.S. has said that if you do business with Iran, we won't do business with you. So it's better for you to do business with us and not do business with them. Makes sense. But when the rest of the world stands up and says, open the strait, stop holding our economy hostage for your goals or whatever is going on with you in the U.S., if they've already agreed to not having a nuclear weapon, that's a great step in the right direction. That there is going to be, as long as it's verifiable, that we are going to watch them turn over their aspirations of a nuclear weapon. Also, I would venture to say it's their ballistic missile program that's got to also stop. All of these things are part of the problem. But the issue of holding the economy of the world hostage, and that's an overstatement, it's not the entire world, but holding economies hostage because you're not allowing commerce and you're not allowing the ships to go through the strait, and you think you're going to start charging tolls or fees. The world's not going to tolerate that. The world understands, even nations that may be more allied with them understand that what this does is it opens the door for other nations to follow suit. You're violating international law. Nothing new to them. It's what they've done throughout the existence of this regime or these ayatollahs when they took over almost 50 years ago. But will the rest of the world start getting on board with that? And the NATO nations, we now have gotten agreements of minesweepers coming from some of our allies. But how quickly? How quickly do we start defying their orders and daring them to do something and then to be suffering severe consequences if they don't back off? I don't know. That to me has been one of the questions I've had is why hasn't the U.S. been defiant? Why hasn't the U.S. said, here's how it's going to go? Is it because, and I don't blame these civilian ships for that, they do not want to be the guinea pig to dare them to strike? I wouldn't want to be on a ship, a crew member on a ship that was going through the Strait of Hormuz and saying, all right, the U.S. is saying we can pass, and if we get attacked, then they're going to defend us. I wouldn't want to be in the line of fire. But is the U.S. sending that message that you're going to open the Strait of Hormuz or there's going to be much heavier penalties? They're hoping that this ends better. Now, we've been told, and I was watching some of the coverage during commercials, that the Israelis continue with some of their attacks as scaled back as they are in Lebanon. And will Netanyahu maintain the good relationship with the U.S. and do what the president asks and back off of Lebanon? Or if they're going to continue the attacks in Lebanon, or maybe they go at it alone and they start attacking the Iranians? I don't know the answer to that. I would be shocked if they did, but I don't know. I don't know how serious they are, because after what happened on October 7th, the idea that they're going to allow nations to attack them and then they're going to fight back a little bit to send a message but not wipe out the threat, I think they're done doing that. It is a weird time in that part of the world, but there's an opportunity that I believe still exists, that there could be a much more peaceful time coming if the people like Iran, and if you listen to, go and look up what some of the neighbor states have said. You look at the UAE, now the Kuwaitis are denouncing these attacks. What you are doing is taking nations that may share some values with you or may share some alliance with you, and you've completely alienated them because you are at the end of your rope. Completely dismantling their air capabilities. They don't have an air force. Their Navy is gone. They do have obviously some missile and drone capabilities that are still left, but what they're doing with them is they're having to lob them at their neighbors to try to disrupt commerce. They had got the Kuwaiti airport. I think it's time we talk with someone that's an expert in this area, because I want to know how this drone warfare changes how we see the rest of the world. It makes a lot of nations that were never dangerous to us a lot more dangerous. At least that's what I believe. I believe it makes them a lot more dangerous. Want to remind you about the Amazing Arizonans podcast. It is an incredible time. We've been doing this for 3 years. I'm so proud of this project and everybody that works so hard on it. We just want to tell great stories from the Grand Canyon State, and we have really had yeses from some amazing people. The most recent episode we dropped is from Darcy Olson. She is a child advocate. She has an organization that stands up for the constitutional rights of abused children nationwide. She has fostered 10 children. She has adopted 4. It's an incredible story. KTAR's YouTube channel, the KTAR News app, or anywhere you download podcasts, you can find them. But this story is incredible, and check out some of the others. Coming up in just a moment, we are going to talk crime and the FBI and a brand new crackdown. We'll get to that coming up here in just a couple of moments. You know, Bulldog security screens, speaking of crime, If you are concerned about the security of your home, and we all should be, you're probably not home right now. Are you sure that if somebody tried to break in your home, that A, they couldn't, but if they did get in your home, that the police would get there fast enough to stop them and catch them? You know, most burglaries go unsolved because burglars understand that if they can get into your home, that no matter how fast the response time is, they can grab your valuables and be gone before the police show up. Do yourself a favor with this. Check into Bulldog Security Screens, the only one I trust because they have a no break-in guarantee. They look amazing, they don't obstruct your view, but they protect like a fortress. Think of the nightmare scenario when family members, the people you love, are in the home and someone tries to break in. The peace of mind that comes with Bulldog Security Screens is second to none. BulldogSecurityScreens.com. That's BulldogSecurityScreens.com. Insist on the Bulldog because Bulldog Security Screens, they're tough.
KTAR News pays tribute to Valley teachers.
Let's give $2,500 to Mr. AC.
Nominate an outstanding teacher for a $2,500 check. Text the word teacher to 620-620 and pay tribute to a teacher. Message and data rates may apply.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
KTAR News Flash.
Coming up on 10:16, I'm Patricia Valencia. This is what you need to know right now. New this morning, one person has died and another has been seriously injured after a shooting at Desert Sky Mall in Phoenix last night. Multiple people were detained, but none of them are suspected of being the shooter. Anyone with information is asked to call Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS. In the Iran conflict, a U.S. Air Force pilot has reportedly survived being shot down twice. More from ABC's Karen Hua.
The F-15 pilot was one of 6 pilots and crewmen forced to parachute to safety back in March after a friendly fire incident over Kuwait disabled their planes. Less than a month later, he was piloting an F-15 when it was hit over Iran. The pilot and weapons officer were rescued days later from enemy territory.
All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. Taking a look at Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 446 points, S&P 500 is down 50, and the NASDAQ is down 288 points. For more money news, visit the Business Center at KTAR.com.
Can't raise your arms, climb stairs, or kneel down? That means you can't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. Let's celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Not bracing for the next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on, back to living their lives. So many of you have been through QC Kinetics game-changing regenerative treatments, done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down. The pain backs off. Hearing about these life-changing treatments on KTAR News helped you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. Let's get rid of that pain, starting now. The consultation's totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now, with clinics in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Hey, basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey, Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge, from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents: rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Scorpions don't hate you. Ain't got the brains for hate. What they got is a tail full of bad intentions. Been living in this desert since the dirt was new. Think they got squatters' rights to your laundry basket.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Scorpions may have squatters' rights to the desert, but not to your property. Call 602 Blue Sky today. Real pest science, real protection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, scorpions.
All right, it's Gato's biggest hour of the week. Join us at 5 o'clock for the face-off. America's war with Iran, will it last forever? We'll discuss with our panel. They've got all different perspectives. Join us for the face-off at 5 o'clock, and you can watch it on the KTAR YouTube channel.
Interesting, the FBI has charged 35 people in West Virginia with drug and firearms operations. They have launched a nationwide summer crime initiative. Operation Turf War is what it's being called. It's an incredible effort by the FBI to start going after violent offenders. And I think that this is the kind of stuff I think the American people want. I'm not a bloodthirsty person, but when we have dangerous people on the streets, when you have people out there that have no regard for human life, when you have people out there that are selling guns and drugs illegally, I am a proud Second Amendment advocate. I am a gun owner. I will always advocate for the rights of citizens to own firearms. The problem is we try to make laws that control them because the criminals don't care. The city of Phoenix did something like this a few years ago where they had a task force that was looking at illegal guns, which were people that weren't supposed to have them, and also guns that had been modified illegally. And it was shocking the numbers of people that they were able to arrest when they focused on that. We've seen violent crime drop in this country because we've had security issues and things that have happened to try to stop things at the border with the criminals that were coming across. Don't confuse what I'm saying. I'm not saying everyone that crossed the border illegally was a violent criminal, but we know that some of them were. And the